Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great commentary. Well, the pandemic struck in early 2020, and here we are over 5 years later, and I finally got COVID. And I have to say, I really thought I was immune to it because before when I got it this past week, I was the only person I knew who hadn't had it. Every other person I knew had it. I'm sure there's some other people out there who've never had it, but I was but I just figured I just couldn't get it, you know. I actually have been COVID vaxxed and boosted once, so I'm not, like some people might think that I'm like anti-vax or anti-COVID vax, and I'm really not, and I never was. I'm anti-mandatory and mandatory vaccination and the vaccine passport dystopia that the Biden voters wanted to set up for us. God knows my family wanted that to, happen. I was against all that, but as for the actual vaccine, like I definitely didn't support the vaccine for everybody. Like I didn't think that well, I mean everybody should make their own decisions, but I wouldn't say like there seems like, like who was the one football player, who was famous for refusing to get it, Beasley. I think he made like the right decision. He's just like, he's healthy. It's no risk to him. The COVID's no risk to him. Better to just get it. Better to just, get COVID than roll your chances with the vaccine. But me, I didn't regret, getting the vaccine and stuff. But I only got one booster, and I never got any other boosters after that. Maybe that was a mistake. So this was, and I still have it now, has been, the worst seems to be over though, has been one of the most unpleasant things I've ever been through. Been through a lot of unpleasant things in my life. This wasn't the worst. But maybe in the top 5, it's been pretty bad. Way worse than I expected. I was expecting it to be like the flu, or maybe like a really bad flu. And maybe for some people it is. I've heard a lot of people say it was the other way around, like, it was like the flu, except not as bad. And this has been way different than the flu. First of all, like no fever. I didn't get, a very slight fever at the beginning. When I say slight, I mean like 1 degree above normal. But like really no fever. And, me, I always thought like, COVID, I would be in real trouble for COVID because I have bad lungs and it would get in my lungs. And the flu usually does get in my lungs. And this one, I never at any point had any problems with my lungs or problems breathing or anything like that. My lungs felt fine through the whole thing. It was just, I don't even know how to describe it other than just it felt really sick. The generalized sickness. Another thing people talk about with COVID is fatigue. Well, I have a lot of fatigue anyway. I wouldn't say COVID made it any worse. It did make it very difficult for me to sleep through a lot of it, though. So, although that's finally changed too. So what happened is I was clearly coming down. I didn't think it was COVID, but I was clearly coming down with something this past Sunday. So I guess it had been about a week ago. So I was, sick on Sunday, but it wasn't horrible. Monday it was noticeably worse, but it was bad, and it got worse throughout the day, but it wasn't horrible. It was bad, but getting worse. And bad and getting worse, but not horrible yet. Tuesday and Wednesday were really rough. They were really bad. And Wednesday especially. By Wednesday, it got to the point where I couldn't sleep really because I couldn't swallow. So, if I lie down or I lay down, and if I did manage to fall asleep, I'd wake up within like half an hour choking because I couldn't swallow. So the spit was building up in my mouth, and then it would go down the wrong pipe, and then, I'd wake up choking, and then I'd be coughing, until that got out. So there was no way to like sleep it off or anything like that. And like there was a part like in Wednesday where I was probably spitting like every 5 seconds, because again, can't swallow. So just spit, go spit, go back to spit. And then it just didn't end. And then, like I said, can't swallow, which meant it was very difficult to get water. So I'm dehydrating because I'm usually chronically dehydrated anyway. So you start off dehydrated to begin with. Then I'm losing more from all the spitting. And I can't really drink water because I can't swallow to get anything down. And that's like, that's when it was at its worst. I was able to, drink a little bit. So what I would do is I would just drink like really tiny sips. So sometimes that was difficult. Often that was difficult, but I didn't like become totally dehydrated or anything. And yeah, so that was I mean, it was really bad. And the only thing that helped at all really was Advil. The thing is, like, because my throat was got really sore, so I tried some of those sore throat lozenges, didn't help. The only thing that would help was was Advil and certain like soft foods and milk. Like something like that. Like water seemed to make it worse, but like milk would have some kind of a soothing effect on the throat. And yeah, so it was really bad. So the first day of it was Sunday, which was, whatever. Monday, getting worse. Tuesday, bad. Wednesday, really bad. Although they were bad in different ways, so it's tough to tell. By Thursday, it was clear that as bad as it was, I was recovering. And Friday, better still. And then Saturday, this day that we've just wrapped up, has been my best yet. And it's weird because it's like, for these last 3 days, each day, it's like I feel so much better, but I still feel fucking terrible. Right now I don't feel terrible, just bad. So this is like, I finally gotten to the point where I just feel bad and not terrible. But it was weird because I kept thinking like, hoping like, okay, well maybe this will be over. I was thinking this on like Tuesday or Wednesday, like maybe this will be over by Friday. But I just couldn't imagine, like, how could I possibly feel better that soon? It just didn't seem realistic. And I guess I was kind of right. Like, I did feel better than how I did on Tuesday and Wednesday, but it was just, I still felt really shitty. And, yeah. So, then today, like I said, today was definitely my best day. I slept, like, last night, I slept, like, 12 hours straight through, which is, for me, is phenomenal. I think like my record is like 10, and like after like a few days of getting only 3 hours of sleep. So and then I was able to take 2 naps during the day, and able to eat a little. Was finally able to take a shower, and which made me feel better. My sheets are still disgusting. The floor of my room is still fucking disgusting. I just had to put towels out in the floor of my room just to have something to spit on, because I couldn't just keep going to the bathroom every time I needed to spit. And so I mean, like, the house is the house is a mess too, but my room is just like a disease zone. And like I said, it seems like the worst is over. This has been really bad. I'm assuming all of you guys have had it by now. This is the time tends to happen with me. Like when I get sick, I get it like worse than most people do, because I don't think most people have had it this bad. It's like I'm ready. I'm thinking now like I'm out of commission for like at least all of next week. Like I was supposed to have I had like 4 or 5 job interviews lined up this week, and I had to miss all of them. And I'm not going to be able. I mean, those jobs are probably completely gone to me now. Like I'm not going to be able to reschedule those interviews. And but I couldn't do it. I mean, I was way too sick. And yeah, I'm not even going to try to do anything this week. I'm just like right now, I'm just like try to recover. And then maybe the week after this one coming up, I'll be able to, get back on the job search or something. But it makes me really happy that I didn't get any of the jobs that I applied for these last 2 weeks. Because if I had, I would have gotten fired this week. I would have already gotten fired this week. Because they're like I said, I mean, I would. There's no way I could have made it in any day this week, and I would have, I would not be going in this coming week either. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't had COVID, I mean, I don't want to say it sucks because it sounds like for everybody it's different. For most people, if you're healthy, it's probably not a big deal from what I've heard. But for me, it was really, 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 really bad. And it's still not totally over yet. I still don't feel well. That's all for now. See you in the next.